Good afternoon. It's Friday the 24th of July 2015. It's 15:38 and we have a special live report as Tom Crawford and his supporters have regained control of his house, unlawfully taken by bailiffs following fraudulent court action a few days ago. We're going to go straight over to Guy Taylor, who's on site at the moment. Guy, have we got you?
You hear me?
I can. We've got you 90 degrees out, so if you could just try moving that phone.
90
again.
degrees out?
Yeah.
Right, okay, 90 degrees, so...
go back to portrait.
Is that all right?
Yes. That's it. Stay
go back
there.
to portrait.
That's great.
Stay there. Is that okay? Is that okay?
That's perfect. Stay there and speak.
Have we got it?
Yes.
Right, okay, so... about 1 o'clock today, Tom's supporters got back into the house, secured the building. They're in there with plenty of food and water. They got in through the roof. The police then turned up, but of course Mickey Summers had a do on in a protest going on down in the town to a police station, which they closed down, apparently, the police station. The place has been completely secured now, and Mark Salon and some others are in the building. Right,
okay. And so there's food and water, supplies have gone into the house, they're able to stay for some time?
Yes.
Okay.
And there are banners outside the house, the property has been secured, the police were taken somewhat by surprise.
Stay there.
The police... Right, the police were taken somewhat by surprise, and the police have surrounded the building, but the public has surrounded the building as well, and more people are coming all the time.
Right, now I believe that the police initially threatened the people who've gone into the house with burglary. What's the situation with that and warrants at the moment?
Right, well, I mean, the situation with burglary is a nonsense because Tom's name is still on the land registration, and so what the circumstances are that they're trying... This is why they get these security companies coming round. They're trying to secure them pending a sale and then claim that there's a vacant possession on the property. It's a complete scam. The people inside the building that leave the building if they provide the legitimate warrants, because of course Tom wasn't given any paperwork under any circumstances, and they just removed him and his family from the house. And he's got a court order, stating that these documents have to be handed over. And of course, the county court haven't complied with this. Tom went down to the Royal Courts of Justice and got this court order. They still haven't complied with it. So the people got out onto the roof and said that they'd be prepared to leave if they were able to show a legitimate warrant to me, and that if upon inspection I could confirm it was legitimate. The police then said that yes, they would go and get the warrant, so we came up to the car to talk to you, Brian, and while we were at the car I was told that the police had turned up with a warrant. Wonderful. I tried walking back down the road, and of course they put a roadblock up here and they won't let me back down, even though that I'm the lawful consultant and representative of Tom and his family. So we haven't got the access to the warrant. So the mythical warrant, the unicorn, is apparently here, but they won't let me see it now. So we're back to square one. When of course all this could be ended in 5 minutes if they show the legitimate paperwork.
Well, Guy, that's very interesting. You call it the unicorn warrant. Does that warrant exist? Well, of course we don't know. But we're also now seeing that the police are prepared to lie in order to cover up what's going on. So they've said to you can come back down and see the warrant, and now they're saying you can't. They're lying, aren't they? Well,
nothing else but lies, Brian. I mean, we came out here to talk to you while we're waiting for the warrant. I was then received a phone call or a CB radio in the roof saying that the warrant's now arrived. We need you down here to inspect it. So then I immediately left the car, tried to come down to inspect the warrant, explained to the police on the front line here exactly who I was and what I was trying to do. What I was trying to do a situation if they had the correct paperwork, and I was stopped from going down the road.
Right.
So the mythical warrant's still a myth at this present time, Brian.
Okay. Well, thank you for that report, Guy, because you've given us the substance. I can tell you that news of what's happening is already going out on ITN. They're tweeting it out. So I would imagine that this is going to get some substantial coverage. Would it be possible for you to try speaking to one of the policemen live on camera and asking about the warrant?
Yeah, certainly, yeah. Okay, we'll move over to one of the police officers, yeah?
And see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got an inspector turned up now, Brian, so I'll ask him. Hello, excuse me. I'm the legal consultant for the Crawford family.
Congratulations.
I was told that the chaps in the building had said that they're prepared to leave if they were given a lawful warrant, and I was allowed to examine that warrant. I was then told that the warrant was present, so I tried to come down to the property to inspect the warrant, and I've been stopped going down.
Right, okay then. Well, I've just arrived, so I'm none the wiser as to what is here and what's not. So if you just bear with me, I'll ask you to wait here until I've gone and come back.
Okay, thank you very much for your help. Thank you. So there you have it, Brian. Did you get that?
Well, very clear indeed. And there's a...
And on the paperwork, as the paperwork itself pertains to it, it doesn't. The paperwork doesn't purport to be a court.
Let's not forget the councils do issue their own liability orders with council tax.
Yeah.
Reasonable policeman. He said he will go away and see what he can do, and for you to wait, and he'll come back to you. This is fascinating because either he's going to come back with a unicorn, or he's not.
Exactly. Yeah. So we await with bated breath.
Right. Well, I'll just tell you, because you may not know, but I understand that the protest against paedophiles and the lack of action by the British government that took place in Nottingham went extremely well. Of course, the police were out in force in Nottingham itself. They were so terrified of campaigners trying to stop child abuse. And I believe that some of the legal firms even closed all the blinds on their windows because they've become very nervous that the public are now taking to the streets. So I think it's quite interesting.
Well, that's wonderful, and Mickey Summers and the people that were supporting him down there are now at the premises up here, apparently. So.
Yes, that's correct. And the other thing that I've been reading myself, catching up on the news, is that we now have politicians who are still refusing to give up the names of child abuse politicians. So it's becoming pretty clear now what's going on. The government is prepared to cover up the abuse of children. The government is prepared to cover up fraudulent action by the courts. And what's the result of that action? People are having their property literally stolen from them. It's becoming crystal clear that we're being governed by a criminal government. Don't know whether you'd agree with that.
Well, I totally agree, Brian. I mean, what we're living in the Wild West, and I mean, the next thing is if they're able to take your property without a warrant, then the next thing is they'll be coming around with death warrants, saying that they got a death warrant for you. I mean, all these police officers are here over a civil matter, and they're not able to produce the paperwork.
Yeah.
And but we'll wait for the unicorn, Brian. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Guy. Well, thanks very much. Would you be kind enough to make contact with us if and when the officer turns up?
First thing I'll do, Brian.
Thank you. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. A live report from Guy Taylor. Apologies that the video image there wouldn't stabilise in the correct direction. That's one of the hazards of live shots with a handheld phone camera. But we got the information there. So at the moment, Nottinghamshire Police have still failed to produce the correct documentation to justify the seizure of Tom Crawford's house. And that document now been, the warrant has now been described as a unicorn. So we will wait to see whether Nottinghamshire Police can return with the unicorn or not. And I think a great deal is going to depend on this. ITN has tweeted out that something's happening. The other thing which we'd encourage people to do is to watch to see if there's any in-depth mainstream media reporting on this incident or not, whether it's simply all swept under the carpet in order to protect the corrupt international banks. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back as soon as we can. Bye-bye.